Hi Aquarius, welcome to your weekly check-in for the 26th of November to the 2nd of December. These messages are for Aquarius Sun, Moon and Rising. Thank you to everyone who likes, shares, comments on the videos, subscribes to the channel. It's all very much appreciated. If you'd like to book a personal reading, see the description box for information on how to do that. So these are the oracle decks I'm going to be using for today's reading. This one is a brand new deck that I've had it for probably about a week now, and I've just found it really. It's just one that I connected with straight away. To be honest, as soon as I had it in my hands, it felt good. The author Adama Sase, she's an astrologer. So she does go, I mean, it's called Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle. So yeah, she does focus on Black Moon Lilith in this deck, but she does bring other bits of astrology into it as well. So I'm learning quite a lot from it, and it's just interesting the story she's put in here, and she gives examples of real life people and how the planets have impacted certain things that have gone on in their lives, public figures, so it's stuff that we all know. But yeah, it's been really interesting. So I'm going to get a message from this deck first of all to start us off. That will be your theme. I just want to point out we've got a full moon on Monday the 27th of November, so you might want to consider messages that come out in this reading as something that can help you if there are any intentions that you want to set for that full moon, because we speak of full moons of being a time to release, to set intentions to release. So messages might come up that might be helpful for you with that. So let's get started. So for Aquarius Sun, Moon and Rising, what is the main theme for this weekly check-in? What do you need to know? Right, so Aquarius Sun, Moon and Rising, what's your theme for the weekly check-in? Okay. You've got Black Moon Lilith in Aries, lead your life. So I'll put that here, and I'm going to get your tarot cards out first, and then I will look at the message in the book for this. So again, what is the theme for Aquarius Sun, Moon and Rising from the tarot for the weekly check-in? And I've just shuffled, and Queen of Wands is on the bottom of the deck, and she's Aries, represents Aries, so I don't know if that's relevant, but we'll see. Well, it is relevant because you've got Black Moon Lilith in Aries, but let's see what else comes out. And she's still at the bottom of the deck. I've shuffled it how many times and she keeps on coming up. That's interesting. Right, so theme from the tarot for Aquarius. You've got the Page of Swords. I was just going to say, what's your energy? So I'm going to put that back. You've got the Empress and the King of Swords. I mean, King of Swords is an Aquarian card as well. But let's try that again, because that just came out so fast it didn't feel right. So your energy specifically. Death. And I keep thinking, what are you learning with that Page of Swords being there? What are you learning? What are you learning? That's coming to mind. So external or surrounding energies, we've got the Five of Wands there. And finally, your guidance. Any guidance for Aquarius? Whoa, okay, that flew across the room there. And I just want to say, right, so you might know this or not, that the candle I've got today is very weak by the looks of it. It's one of my modified candles. For some reason, this particular batch of candles, the wick seems to burn out really fast. So like there's still half like a lot of wax left in the what do you call it, tea light after it's burnt out. So what I've been doing is kind of melting the wax down and kind of transferring it into other tea lights where the wick is longer, like where some of the wax is burnt out but the wick is longer, but it's just not, yeah, it hasn't worked. But I'm just thinking, I wonder if at any point in the reading the flame will get stronger, because it has happened with some of the other ones that I've modified, where it started off weak like this, and then at some point during the reading the light started to burn brighter as the wax had burnt off. And I wonder if that will be relevant for you, so look out for that if I forget. We've got the Knight of Swords. I am going to take it upright. I think it's hard to tell because it flew across the room, but it probably was in reverse, and I'm going to put it upright. So we've got the Knight of Swords there as well. So let's look at this message in the book first of all, and then we'll get into the tarot cards. So it's number 1, which it should be because Aries is the first sign in astrology, isn't it? So she's even paid attention to that as well in the way she's numbered the cards. It's a 44 card deck, and the way she's even numbered the cards is very relevant. Like even with the ones where there are where they're double figures. Yeah, there's relevance even in the double figures as well. But anyway, when this card appears, the universe is calling for you to embrace your desires, set boundaries, and say no. You may feel the need to take on the world by yourself, rejecting support from others for fear of appearing weak. This can leave you feeling depleted. The lesson here is that you can both lead others and rely on them for support. The first step is to change your belief around independence. Aries is the masculine first sign of the zodiac, ruling over the self, identity, and personality. Symbolized by the ram, it's an energetic fire sign that prefers to blaze its own trail. When Black Moon Lilith is here, you can feel forced into the role of having to do everything on your own, or your desire and natural tendency toward independence can trigger others. The mother may have had to lean heavily on their masculine energy to support the family. Singer Billie Holiday was a natal Black Moon Lilith in Aries with a teen single mother and an absent father. This can be an inherited pattern of self-reliance and fear of support from others that can leave you feeling unfulfilled. So it gives you something here that says dark divine feminine shadow work. Accepting support is healthy and will help lift energetic burdens. Once you accept support, the universe will manifest more people who want to support you. You are opening your divine feminine container to receive abundance. It also gives something for dark divine masculine shadow work. You secretly admire and gravitate toward independent energy. This creates inner tension with your own masculinity. The key is to learn to lean into your leadership while accepting and integrating other opinions. Allow divine masculinity to shine while also giving space for others' desires. Release the shame around who you are. It's time to embrace the fire that burns within you. That's an interesting message. So what am I thinking here? So I did ask, what are you learning? So maybe this is something that you're learning about the balance between independence and interdependence. That could be something. You've got death here. So that kind of indicates some sort of transition, transformation, ending of some sort. You've got the Five of Wands, and this particular Five of Wands, it is a literal tug of war, isn't it? So are you being pulled in different directions by people? Is it mentally, physically? What is it? I mean, the ones are physical, aren't they? But we'll see. Let's get the clarifiers out and we'll see what happens. So as much as this is about Aries, I feel some of the stuff she said in here is relevant to Aquarius. So the stuff about, see, I'm not going to be able to find it now, am I? That I've said I want to look at it. Well, Aquarius is known to be innovative for a start, and it talks about blazing its own trail. The ram blazing its own trail, which I know Aries does that too, but I feel Aquarius does that as well. Is there anything else? No, not at this time. So let's get into the clarifiers and see what happens here. So let's start off with that Page of Swords. Again, as I said, it feels to me like, what are you learning? So let's see. See what messages come up around that. So Page of Swords. So we have the Three of Wands, and I'm going to keep that upright. We've got the Death card as well. No, sorry, the Devil card. Why did I say that was the Death card? Devil card. Anything else? Okay, you know, I wasn't going to take it, but that was such a dramatic, acrobatic flip that I've got to take it. Right, we've got these Three of Swords, the King of Cups. Anything else? The Hermit. I thought that was the Death card as well for a minute there. So the Hermit would be someone who is very independent, aren't they, for a start? Let's get something for that Three of Wands. Let's get something for the Three of Wands and see what comes out for that. So we've got the Eight of Pentacles, we've got the Page of Cups. Anything else? We've got the Seven of Wands. Okay. I mean, to me, this just looks like being quite focused on your intentions and the things that you want to achieve. That Three of Wands on its own, because you've got the Eight of Pentacles there. So setting intentions in terms of what you want to work on, what you want to put the effort in. The Seven of Wands is the part of the effort as well, of standing up for something and fighting for something, whatever it is that you believe in. The Page of Cups, it's the feeling that you have for it, isn't it? In terms of the intentions, it's where you have a desire for something, you have a feeling for something, you want to express something. So what else am I going to look at here? So that would be the kind of the intentions and the focus. Let's look at the King of Cups and see why the King of Cups is there. I mean, I know you've got some cards here that kind of potential things that hold you back or blocks with the Devil and the Three of Swords. Let's look at the King of Cups first. I mean, the King of Cups next to the Hermit is kind of like keeping yourself to yourself, isn't it, in a way? I mean, the King of Cups, as we keep saying, he can be reserved, emotionally reserved. Like, you know, he's got the feelings there, but he's kind of, he's not going to let it out straight away. He holds back until he's ready to let it out. And the Hermit is just to themselves in general anyway. So it's like keeping yourself to yourself, isn't it, in whatever intentions. I mean, have you experienced a situation that's hurt you and now you're just like, oh, you know what, F everybody else. I'm just focusing on me and what I've got to do. That's kind of a possibility of the energy that's coming out here. But then, as I said, this Page of Swords, it's about learning something, isn't it? So what are you learning? Right, King of Cups. So again, that's a card of keeping yourself to yourself. The Nine of Pentacles, we talk about it being in a comfort zone. Sometimes it's like a gilded cage. She's just there in that garden. As I keep saying, she looks forlorn. Like physically she has what she needs, but she's on her own. I mean, apart from a squirrel that she's trying to have a conversation with, I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah, it's like she's doing what she has to do. She's got what she needs. She's building her abundance, but she's on her own, keeping herself to herself in a nice garden. So I'll leave that because I feel like that's for the King of Cups, that's enough. Let's look at the Hermit, because that's kind of, yes, it can be isolation and keeping yourself to yourself, but he's on a quest for knowledge, isn't he, the Hermit? So what is that going to tell us, what the Hermit's learning, or is this what you're learning, if that makes sense, which I say a lot, but right, see if I can find this card now, if it was 1 or 2, because anytime anything falls down the side of the table, it's a nightmare to find. In fact, I'm going to pause the video to look for this, because I know last time it took me about 2 minutes to find the card and it was actually behind me, whereas I was looking in front of me, so bear with me. Okay, Aquarius, it was the Two of Pentacles, and this actually, when I was shuffling the clarifiers, it did keep appearing at the bottom of the deck. So that's for the Hermit. So I wonder if that's connected to that Five of Wands, where if you felt, I feel like this is just, I can't remember the exact title of your last reading, but I feel like you have had, along with Capricorn and some of the other signs, a theme of juggling too much of other people's stuff. And I mean, as I said, you've got an energy here of kind of keeping yourself to yourself or backing away or something, focusing on what you've got to do. So I wonder if that is, let's see what else comes out. And then, I mean, the card says lead your life, doesn't it? Let's try that again. Judgment tried to come out. Lead your life. So it's focusing on whatever you're doing, not paying attention to what's going on around you. Let me have a look at the book again. Just one moment. Just to see what it said again. Yeah, because it says, it talks about embracing your desires, setting boundaries. You may feel the need to take on the world by yourself, rejecting support from others for fear of feeling weak. And the lesson is that you can both lead others and rely on them for support. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's see what else comes out for that hermit. Right, and this is where you now work with others. So that could be, yeah, going back to that message, that could be showing where you are. I keep saying the first thing that came out was, what are you learning? Are you trying to, or needing to learn, if you're not already doing this, learning that lesson about how to lead others and let them support you as well? Again, as I keep saying to the signs, it may not be, when a message comes out, it doesn't mean this is your entire life, that this is what you do in your entire life. It can be a specific situation, can't it? We can be very different people in different situations. Like, I'm sure for a lot of us, the person you are at work isn't the same person that you are at home. And the same with different people in your life. You're not going to be exactly the same way with one person as you are with another person in your life. I'm just going to get one more for that hermit, and then I think I might look at the devil and the three of swords. I know I'm going pretty deep into this first card, but it's, yeah, it feels ambiguous, to be honest, or it's just me. So hermit, Seven of Cups, I'll get one more for that. And we've got the King of Pentacles, okay. I mean, the Seven of Cups here, it's speaking of options. Like, so with it being next to the Three of Pentacles, yeah, that kind of suggests to me options of how to approach a situation. Let's get that King of Pentacles as well. I mean, I've said about the King of Pentacles multiple times in multiple readings that the King of Pentacles is a self-made man or person. However, as much as it says he would be independent and he's a self-made person, he couldn't literally do it on his own. I mean, he has got people there with him as well. I don't think the book explains the relevance of the people behind him. They just look like sort of fairy, you know, mythological type characters. But however he made his fortune and created his abundance, as much as he took the lead with that, he would have needed support as well to do it in whatever way, shape or form that is. Like, he would have come up with a plan. Say if he was someone that wanted to build an empire, he still needs employees to help him. Say if he wanted to build a house, yeah, technically he could build it by himself, but he still needs to get materials. He still needs to go to someone to get materials, and he might need help to build parts of it. And I mean, it's not impossible to do it literally all by yourself, but realistically, especially in this day and age, you need help to do things, even if you are the one in charge and taking the lead. So yeah, so that message again, yeah, could be very much learning about the interdependence, independence, leadership type energy. But let's have a look at the Three of Swords and see what the relevance of that is here. I mean, it could be that classic thing of worrying about if you let people in, are you going to get hurt? Because the devil is what holds you back, and then the Three of Swords, it's hurt, isn't it? So sometimes that together, that can be, I mean, the devil could be fear as well, actually. Fear of getting hurt. So why is the Three of Swords there, please? Could be, yeah, I was going to say there could be something about discernment here, in terms of learning more about who you can trust and who you can't trust. And again, as I say, it doesn't mean that this is your entire life, that you have an absolute problem all round with discernment and knowing who to trust. It could just be in a particular situation. But justice, the whole point of discernment is so that you get what's fair, isn't it? So let's get one for the devil, and then I'll leave this because I feel like I'm not going to get any clearer than I already am on this. Right, we have the Ace of Swords. I'll get one more, but I think that might be to do with honesty and integrity, to be honest. It's to do with honesty. Because the Ace of Swords is a card, yeah. The Ace of Swords is a card of truth, isn't it? Yeah, truth, honesty, integrity, and then following that, yeah. Then you've got the Five of Wands, which can be conflicts with other people. It can be arguments, you know, like if you have conflicts at work, like competition, one-upmanship. Ten of Swords is literally being stabbed in the back here. But then you've got the Ace of Cups, and for me personally, sometimes the Ace of Cups can refer to intentions, like having good intentions. I mean, yeah, I know it's about fulfillment and having a full cup and what you have to offer and love and stuff like that. But for me, it can represent good intentions. So yeah, there could be something here about you may be going through a phase where you're contemplating who you can trust and who you can let in. So let's leave that there. I feel like I need to pause the video to put all of these cards back in the deck because I've sub-clarified so much. Yeah, I think I will do that actually. So I'm going to pick these up first of all. And I'll pause the video to do it because it might take a while. So main theme, I would say there's an element of discernment going on here, and the interplay, is that right? Between interdependence, independence as well. So bear with me, it'll only be 1 second for you. Right, Aquarius, so your energy specifically is the Death card. So I said transition or transformation at first. So let's have a look at the Death card. Your energy specifically, how you're dealing with things. You have the Two of Wands. I feel like the candle's getting weaker. I don't know if that's relevant, but we'll see. Five of Cups, okay. There's quite a few painful cards in here. I mean, it's not unusual, but it's just standing out quite a bit with the Five of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Devil. I mean, it's not even that many, to be honest, but it is standing out to me. I don't know, I feel like saying, is somebody grieving? Is someone grieving? I know, was it your last reading I talked about saying goodbye to the old you? And I feel like I'm having deja vu with the way the cards look as well, with the Death card and the Five. Because I think it was the Five of Cups. It was probably your reading about saying goodbye to the old you. But let's continue. But I have to wonder if someone's grieving someone else, not just themselves, to be honest. I mean, it could be you because the Death card is your specific energy. So it could still be a continuation of that. But let's see. Right, we've got the Two of Cups there as well now. You could be grieving old relationships, actually, with people. Have you had to cut ties with anyone recently? Okay, let's continue because of that too. I guess because of the Two of Cups being there. Do I want to? I'm going to try that again. It was the Three of Pentacles, the King of Swords. Let's try that again. We've got the Star. Anything else? We have the Empress, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles. This Empress for me quite recently keeps on coming up as a new you, like the new you, not just for you but for other signs as well, not all of them but a few of them. And that's the first thing that came to mind when she popped out there, was is this the new you? I'm going to look at that Two of Wands in reverse. Again, I'm thinking of that whole being pulled in different directions, because this one's hands are literally tied in this Two of Wands, and he's literally being pulled into, well, not literally because he's not technically being pulled by anyone, but he's tied in two directions. So it's kind of like being pulled in two directions. I mean, I know the Two of Wands is often about making a choice, choosing a path, but again, with that tug of war thing going on there, are you saying goodbye to being pulled in different directions? Does part of that involve saying goodbye to certain people? Or as I said, cutting ties? And I mean, we've got ropes in both of these cards, haven't we? Cutting ties with certain people or a certain person. Is that relevant? Because we're talking about discernment here, and I think a mention of who you can trust. Should I try that again? I'm going to try it again. We've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor. Two of Wands, please. I mean, those are very opposite energies as well, aren't they? Before I even look at these cards, the Emperor, that's Aries energy. That's like the boss energy, the leader, the person who's in control, who kind of tells people what to do if he's the boss. And then the Queen of Pentacles. I mean, yes, she can be like not an entrepreneur, a business owner or something like that, but she's the more nurturing, gentle. She's not the person that's going to tell you what to do, is she? She's going to support you and assist you. So that could be relevant in terms of being pulled in different directions. I mean, maybe there's something there about no longer being pulled in directions in terms of that. Maybe it's integrating. Again, we talked about independence and interdependence and leadership, and you know, so the Emperor would be independence, and I'd say that the Queen of Pentacles would be more interdependence, wouldn't it? Really, right? We've got the High Priestess, the Ten of Swords. That's discernment. Because the high priestess it's about your intuition, isn't it? Again, we've got that Ten of Swords, which for me, it feels more like the whole being stabbed in the back thing than, I mean, it can be endings. Again, I said, are you mourning or grieving over a relationship? I don't mean somebody's literally, I mean, it could be that somebody's passed away. I'm not predicting anyone's death, by the way. I wouldn't do that. But, you know, like, somebody could have passed away, but yeah. But just like grieving over cutting ties with someone, again, the ties, look, their hands are tied. I mean, it's a hand fasting ceremony, so yes, their hands are going to be tied. But cutting ties, again. And I mean, the Ten of Swords is an ending. But so it could be that, cutting ties with a particular person, whether it is romantic or family or whatever. Or it could just be, again, putting an end to being pulled in different directions and just learning to have a stronger sense of discernment about who you can trust and who you can't. Like where are the genuine bonds and connections, and who are the people that would potentially stab you in the back. Let's look at the Two of Cups. I mean, your energy here, you've got the Star, and it's an Aquarian card, but it would suggest to me that even if you've had issues with people stabbing you in the back, or trust issues or whatever, and issues with their intentions, you've got the Star there. So it suggests that you still have hope. You've got the Empress there. It's like you are still willing to, even though you may have had to overcome that or deal with that, you still have hope. Like, say if your best friend betrayed you or something and you're having to cut ties with them, it doesn't feel like there's bitterness there where it's like, well, everybody's a piece of shit and I'm not going to trust anybody again. It's like, okay, that particular person may have been a piece of shit, but I still have hope that I still have faith in humanity, kind of thing. And that would make sense for Aquarius, because Aquarius is connected to stuff like humanitarianism, community, that sort of thing. It's, you know, it's hard to imagine. It's not impossible, because we are not all stereotypes. But if you did want to go by a stereotype of Aquarius, it's hard to imagine Aquarius sort of in the higher energy, just completely cutting everybody off and saying everybody's a piece of shit. I'm just going to cut myself off from the entire world. So Two of Cups. I need to stop shuffling by the edge of the table, don't I? It's not helping. Oh dear. Okay, I may have to pause the video again for this because, oh no, got it. Right, that Queen of Pentacles energy, and I'm clarifying the Two of Cups. So to me, that's the interdependence, isn't it? Because for me, hang on, let's put this back. The Two of Cups, it is about connections with people, and it can be about connecting with what you love as well, if it was a path or something like that in life. But it's also about it's sharing understanding, isn't it? It's understanding another person, connecting with them, bonding with them. So let's see what else comes out for that. I'll try to shuffle away from the edge of the table this time. And the Queen of Pentacles, I mean, yes, the Queen of Cups would be very understanding as well and very loving as well. But the Queen of Pentacles is very nurturing too. So, and as I keep saying, for me, she's the closest minor, I guess it's kind of minor arcana to the Empress, which is the major arcana. And she is very generous and nurturing and supportive too, isn't she? So we have the Fool. You know what that feels like to me? That feels like non-judgment. I've never had that meaning come up for the Fool before, but it literally feels like non-judgment. You know, like when you meet someone and you just, a friend or whatever, or you have a friendship where you just have a completely open mind with this friend and you just don't judge anything they do. I mean, I'm not talking about extreme behaviors like if they murdered someone or something like that, but you know, and you just don't judge them. Like if they slept with 10 people in one night, you wouldn't have a bad thing to say about them. That is a really weird example to give, but you know, obviously we know that the things that can happen if someone did something like that and the judgments that can come with that. But it just looks like here, it looks like there just wouldn't be any judgment about it at all. Yeah, that was a really weird example, but yeah. Right, what else do we have? We have the Wheel of Fortune, okay. You know I'm going to have to get one more after that because it's like a cliffhanger, isn't it? Seven of Swords. So that just feels like the Wheel of Fortune with the Seven of Swords. This it's kind of like something changing. Again, it's that learning about trusting, who you can trust, who you can't trust. There could be learning something about judgment in here as well. Maybe you may have judged yourself harshly or others harshly, but it looks like there are lessons to be learned around the interplay of between relationships between yourself and others. Okay, we'll leave that there. I think that's about it. Yeah, we'll leave it there for now. So your energy, it's transformation. I feel that the last reading was about, it was about saying goodbye to an old version of you, wasn't it? But this one seems like it's like you've done this part of the step where you kind of figured something out for yourself, about yourself, and now you're moving towards now transforming and contemplating something in terms of how you connect with others and the relationships with others, I feel. So as I said, the star is like the card of hope. The Empress, it still feels like the new you. There may be a side of you, like you may have already been quite a nurturing Empress energy type of person, but there's just more of that coming out in some way, shape or form. Should I look at the Ace of Pentacles? Let's do it briefly, very, very briefly, since I'm going to make it a long reading anyway, apparently, as usual. So Ace of Pentacles. I guess it's a new way of doing things, isn't it, really? It's part of the new you, but this is, say, if this was the new you, this is you physically acting on the new you and the new way that you want to connect with people. And it's a process. The Death card is the transformation, it is the transition. So it doesn't mean that all of this is happening in one go right now. It's a gradual process, yeah. So Four of Wands, again, the ties, the ropes, ties, bonds, whatever you want to call them, that is really feeling significant here. And the Temperance card for me, I mean, it is harmony, so harmonious relationships, connections, whatever. But did I just say it's connection for me as well? It can be connection. And it's healing as well, isn't it? So that's the new you. That's the new way of doing it, of doing things. So let's put these away as well now. I may have to pause the video again because I've taken so many cards out. So I would say you transforming, there's an element of discernment there. You may have had to cut ties with one or two people or more if you really have been stabbed in the back by people, or it may even just be contemplating old hurts in terms of relationships with people. But yeah, so I am going to pause to put the cards back again because I've spent a lot of time looking at certain things in the video. Right, so the external energy, tug of war, I mean, the first instinct would be potentially other people, being pulled in different directions by other people, but let's see. Nope. Okay, try that again. So Five of Wands, why is that there, please? Away from the edge. I have to remind myself. Okay, it wanted to come back out, didn't it? Ace of Wands. Again, it's like a new way of doing things. Again, a new seed. You may have had this, or have had this energy around you that's kind of, how do I put it? So like if you've been pulled in, felt like you've been pulled in directions, whether it was by other people or by a way of thinking or a way of doing things, it's kind of really come to your attention. It's like, yeah, this can't go on anymore. Like, how long can you remain in a tug of war before you get bloody knackered? That kind of energy. It's like we've got to do this differently. So you've got the juggling card there, the Two of Pentacles. And again, I often ask with the Two of Pentacles, how long can he stand there juggling before his arms like give in and he's standing on a log? How long before his leg gets tired and he falls off the log? I don't know why the dog is bringing him lunch. That always baffles me. Well, I'm assuming the dog's bringing him lunch, but it's just, yeah, I always find that quite amusing. You've got the Seven of Cups there, which I mean, that could represent confusion here. Let's just get one more. Okay, yep, we'll take it. Nine of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. I mean, this Nine of Wands, it does feel, it could be both actually, defensive and protective, if I'm being honest. Let's look at the Seven of Cups and see what that's about. Why is the Seven of Cups here? Seven of Pentacles. It's quite amusing when the Seven of Pentacles and Seven of Cups come out, because it's always I mean, they're very much both are cards of is it worth it, but it like doubles up. Is it worth it? Is something worth it? So what is it? What is it that you're questioning? Is it worth it? Or what is the external energy questioning? Is it worth it? You know what? I keep saying this. I've said it for every reading so far. You know, when you have a thought as a reader, and you want to say, you feel like you could say it, and you're like, you don't bother, and then a card comes out after, and the card is kind of what you were thinking, and you're like, damn it, it would have been so cool if I literally said that before it came out. I was going to say, is it worth investing? And obviously the King of Pentacles, I'm not talking financially, but with looking at the King of Pentacles with all his money there, it does make you, well, for me, it does make me think of investments. So for me, it's like, it is a question of, is it worth investing in? But it doesn't necessarily mean financially. For me, it's still that whole element of probably more so about relationships with people. I mean, I will get one more. Anything else for the Seven of Cups? I get support from that King of Pentacles as well. So we've got the Queen of Swords, who is an advisor too. And then Six of Wands. I mean, classic thing for me with the Six of Wands. I know that the first thing most people will talk about with it is victory, success. For me, I don't know if it's just this particular card that's sparked this meaning for me, but this whole thing of being seen, heard, respected. I know the Six of Wands can be connected to getting accolades, being celebrated, but it very much feels about being seen and heard. So if the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Six of Wands represented other people, this Seven of Cups here, it would be sort of questioning, again, going back to that whole thing of assessing independence, interdependence with other people. The King of Pentacles would be like someone who is stable, grounded, practically supportive, reliable. The Queen of Swords would be the advisor, someone that you can talk to. She could be the tough love friend at times as well, but she'll tell it as it is, like, you know, she's not going to lie to you. And then the Six of Wands, it's just generally being respected and seen and heard. So again, if it's in terms of how you are with other people, it's that discernment again about, is it worth it? Is it worth investing your time, energy, emotions, whatever, into relationships with people, whether they are romantic or non-romantic? I mean, you've got the Nine of Wands there, as I said. That could be both defensiveness or protectiveness. So that whole discernment comes to mind again. What else have we got? It's just cards of trying to do it in a new way for the most part, and having a better sense of judgment, I would say, with things. But not as I say, if you've been stabbed in the back, etc., it's not giving up hope. It's just it's just having that frame of mind where it's like, right, I'm not going to let it make me bitter. I'm just going to use what I've learned to do it, to hopefully make better decisions, or to see things differently, or to just be more discerning when I do start to bond or connect with people. That Knight of Pentacles again could potentially represent like the energy of the kind of people that you want to be around. Again, that reliable type of energy. Like if you've got someone like that around, then you shouldn't need to feel as much like you need to protect yourself if you're around someone who is reliable and dependable and honest and has integrity. Is there anything else I want to clarify there? Let me just have a brief look at that Two of Pentacles. This reading is going to be very long, isn't it, for a weekly? Queen of Wands there. Try that again. I would say for the most part, let's put that there. Queen of, what is it? Queen of Wands, the Fool, and Knight of Swords. I think for the most part, you probably just don't want to have to worry about who you can trust. You don't want to spend a lot of time worrying about it. You don't want to have to battle and have conflict between independence and interdependence and things like that. You want the things to be more harmonious with it in general, I would say. So you've got the Queen of Wands, the Fool, and the Knight of Swords. Yeah, that, I mean, the Fool for me, I keep talking about, it's a sense of freedom, isn't it? The Queen of Wands for me, it's like being able to be yourself. She just shines her light. She does her thing. She doesn't have to worry about how she's being seen, which I mean, for the most part, I don't think Aquarius does, to be honest, anyway. Being able to speak your truth, just being free to be yourself and do what you need to do, and sort of not worry about, am I going to get stabbed in the back? And then, again, that whole thing about, are you going to get the support you need? I mean, there's no guarantees, obviously. You can't make people support you, but it is nice to know that you have people that have your back, isn't it, really? So I'm going to leave that there because I've spent a long time on that as well now. And let's look at your advice. You might be worried about being judged as well, actually. Well, would you? I don't know if you'd worry about it so much, but obviously it does have an impact. It does have an impact, even if you're not overly concerned about it. It depends on the person, doesn't it? Like who the person is that is judging you. Because none of us like to be judged if we can help it. But it depends on how close they... I mean, like, say a stranger judges you, you don't give a shit. If it's your best friend, then that's another story. That can completely... That is where friendships can end, can't it? Depending on how severe the judgment is and, yeah, the extent of things. But anyway, Knight of Swords. Why is that there? Why is the Knight of Swords there? So you've got the Moon. You've got the Emperor. That again is that card of taking the lead. Isn't? I don't know. The first thing that's coming to mind with this Knight of Swords is just being able to be yourself. But let's see what else comes out. Ten of Cups. Anything else? Yeah. Page of Wands. Ace of Swords. And the Ten of Wands. Let's look at the Moon and see what that says. So we've got the Ace of Cups and the World. I am recording, aren't I? So that again, that just, I don't know why this is coming up, but it does feel again like this whole thing about just wanting to be yourself. And not to say that you can't be yourself, but it's just a strange one with that sort of coming up. Let's have a look at, do I want to look at anything else? Let's look at the Ten of Wands. Why is the Ten of Wands there in the advice? Nine of Cups. Have you literally had people that have tried to kind of block your path and block what you're trying to achieve, or put a spanner in the works at the very least? That's what I'm thinking here, because there's, as I say, there's stuff coming up about being yourself. You've got that whole leadership message, independence, interdependence, that kind of thing. So it's just making me think. And then the whole thing about needing to cut ties with people and thinking about who you can trust. So it's making me think, have you literally had people who have tried to block your path and make your life difficult? And that's why this is coming up, because it kind of, on the one hand, it almost feels like you kind of will be yourself anyway. Like there's nothing literally holding you back. But then if this stuff is coming up, it's like, for me, the only way that would come up is if people have literally tried to stop you. Like it's not that there's anything within you necessarily that's holding you back. I mean, it could be, but it could be external stuff, external people. Let's get one more for the Ten of Wands. So you've got the Four of Pentacles, that's a protective energy, and then you've got the Magician. So it's really contradictory. I mean, on the one hand, you've got the Four of Pentacles who's protective, but then the Magician is very capable. So it is pretty kind of what I was just saying, that it's like, you know that you can get on with it and do what you have to do, but then have people literally tried to interfere, and that's why you would need to be protective in a way. I'm going to look at the Page of Wands. This is a strange energy. So you've got the Four of Cups, Queen of Wands, and Two of Swords there. I mean, the Page of Wands for me, it is about exploration. And it can be to do with your identity. This particular Page of Wands is often, for me, it's about answering the call or answering a calling. You've got the Four of Cups here, which this particular Four of Cups for me, it doesn't necessarily feel like rejection and apathy and all that kind of thing. It kind of just feels like deep contemplation. So is it here that, again, it's that whole independence versus interdependence? Is it about gaining more balance with that or something, or knowing when to kind of take a step back to figure things out for yourself, and then when to sort of re-engage with people, and knowing how much to tell them as well? Because, you know, sometimes there's different theories, aren't there? Like, some would say that, oh, you should share your dreams with your best friends, and then others would say, oh no, you should keep everything to yourself, because if you tell people your dreams, that it can mess it up and stuff like that. It's like, what's the balance between it? What is the balance? I mean, you've got opposites here again. You've got the Emperor. Again, very independent, just gets on with it, does what he has to do. He's the boss, he'll boss other people around. And then you've got Ten of Cups, which is shared happiness as well. Let's quickly look at that Ace of Swords. So you've got the Tower. That might be that whole thing of knowing how much to reveal when you have certain plans. Six of Swords. And the Queen of Cups. Anything else? Let's try that again. This is just making me think that you could be at risk of saying something very controversial, to be honest. So, yeah, it's making me feel that you could, there's the potential of you, again, if you're just doing your thing and trying to get on with it and whatever, you could be at risk of doing or saying something, probably saying with the sword there, yeah, something very controversial. But at the end of the day, that is something that would discern for you who the people are that are genuine. Do I want to say supporters? I mean, you probably could say supporters with that Six of Wands there. People who genuinely care, genuine supporters, people who genuinely care with the Queen of Cups. People that you do have genuine bonds with. It would filter that out, wouldn't it? I'm I mean, obviously everyone doesn't have to agree with us, but then if people kind of do turn on you and stab you in the back for certain things that you say, then it does make you question the friendship, doesn't it? How much of a friend are they? Or how genuine is the relationship? I mean, obviously there are always deal breakers. Like sometimes people will say stuff that would, like somebody could say something to me, I can't think of an example, that would, like if they said they absolutely adore Hitler, yeah, I wouldn't want to be friends with them anymore, put it that way. So I'm not talking about stuff like that, just general stuff. It kind of, I can't think of the right word, but it filters out, doesn't it? When you kind of express yourself, you really express yourself and you don't hold back. I don't mean just like insulting people, but you express how you really feel, what you really think. It does filter out where the connections are. And it doesn't mean that the people that you no longer connect with because you've said something of bad people. It's just that it establishes where there is a real common ground with people. So I'm going to take the advice. This is not 100% clear. I will be honest with you, Aquarius. I'm going to take the advice. It's just to continue to be yourself, speak your truth, do what you have to do. It looks like you've already been doing work in terms of discernment, establishing the real connections. If you've had to cut ties with people, it looks like that's what you've done, but you haven't become bitter and lost hope. You still think there's good in humanity. I guess continue on that path, to be honest. Be yourself, and continue to see the good in humanity as well, and be discerning about things. That's all I can say at the end of this reading, because it was just a lot. And yeah, that was a lot. So we'll put all these back and get you a final card of advice. And I know it was a very, very long reading for what it was, but it is what it is. Hopefully there was something that made sense in here for you, because I know it was quite an odd one. So final message of guidance for Aquarius, please. I can't even begin to think of a title for this because it was just a lot. Final message of guidance. You've got past. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. So that as I said, it is a process, that whole thing about the discerning, and if you've been considering old relationships and you've cut ties with people and stuff like that, and that whole tug of war energy, with who you can trust, who you can't trust. That might be stagnant energy that you might need to release. And again, with the full moon coming up, that might be something that you might want to consider setting as an intention to release. So I am going to get the book and read the message from the book. Let's see what it says here, if that makes things any clearer. So it says, the past is done and the future is yet to be. All you have is the now, and the past is your greatest teacher. Everything that has happened up until this moment is the product of the person you see in the mirror. That is why the power of now is so important. Only in the present do you have the opportunity to create both your past and your future. Always be mindful of your present moment thoughts, because in seconds, now will be in your past, which you cannot get back. You don't want the past to steal your future, and the bridge between the two is the present. Begin to live in present time, and always remember that through loving, compassionate thoughts and actions, you are creating a past that you can be proud of and a bright future that awaits. Hopefully that makes sense to someone. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you are still with me, feel free to like, share or comment on the video. You are welcome to subscribe to the channel as well. If you'd like a personal reading, see the description box for information on that. And yeah, again, thank you for watching and take care.